The little girl is singing when a car from behind hits them hard. Their car turns upside down in the woods. The father dies instantly, and the mother is taking her daughter away, but not so far. Without a second thought, a woman comes and takes her down. She is up to take the little girl, but a man from behind says that the ambulance is on the way. In the prison, the priest is escorted by the guard. He opens the jail door to let him in to visit a prisoner who will be executed to death in 30 minutes. The man says he doesn't have any confession to make. He didn't do any wrong. The prisoner is William Tate, and Milton Winter is disguised as a priest. He says that he will help him escape from the prison. Winter wants him to work for him after he is smuggled out. He mentions the story of the little girl, Bo, and the car accident. There's an organization that wants to kidnap the child. His mission is to take her out of the hospital before anyone else reaches her. Tate thinks that this is all a joke. The guards drag him out. Winter once again tells him that he doesn't have much time. He needs his answer right now. Tate has no alternative solution. He agrees, and Winter gives the signal to the team, and the process has begun. The electricity cuts off, and one of the guards is among Winter's men. They smuggle Tate out of the sewers, while the guard pretends to be beaten. Winter, in the priest's role, tells the guards that Tate ran in the opposite direction. The team arrives at the sewers and takes Tate. They reach the airport, where Winter meets them, and they board the plane. Bo is in the hospital. She comes back to her consciousness. The doctor puts her in the MRI to run tests on her. She wants them to stop it. Once she's inside, she gets furious, and the machine malfunctions. They get her out and put her in another room. Dr. Adam Terry checks up on her. He knows that those who were with her in the car adopted her only 2 weeks ago. Bo tells him that he shouldn't resign from his job because a patient will come here named Senga. He's baffled by what she's saying. More, the woman who killed her parents, talks to Dr. Roman Skoras. He tells her that she must kidnap Bo before Winter and his men take her away. Winter explains to Tate his mission. He shows him videos of Bo with her powers. They put a tracker on his leg in case he thought of escaping. They begin implementing the plan and send Tate through an ambulance to the hospital. Wearing nurse attire, he bumps into Moore, but they do not know each other. Tate sees a butterfly making its way to Bo's room. When he steps in, she wakes up and recognizes him. She refuses to go with him, but when he mentions Winter's name, she agrees. On the way out, they meet Moore, who is disguised as a doctor. But when Tate sees her card, he learns that she has impersonated another doctor. They fight, and Bo injects Moore. Then they escape together. They board the bus. But suddenly, she disappears. Tate finds her inside an internet cafe, where she tells him that she is looking for a doctor named Terry. He scolds her, saying that she shouldn't do that again. The team's car stops, and they ride it. Then, after the mission is over, he meets Winter in their hiding place. Tate says that he has done what he had to do. Now he asks him to dismantle the tracker from his leg. But Winter says that his mission has yet to begin. Moore is looking for them everywhere. She obtains the coordinates of Bo's location through the team working with her in the organization. She arrives at the area and kills everyone in front of her. Winter quickly smuggles Bo, but her toy falls from her. Since it's an invaluable gift from her biological mother, she returns to search for it. And when she takes it from the ground, she finds Moore in front of her. Tate fights with her once again, and because she is a professional killer, she knocks him on the ground and is about to shoot him. But Bo screams with all her might, gathering the birds around Moore, allowing the team to escape. In the night, they go to Dr. Terry's house. When he opens the door, she points at Tate's wound. He lets them inside, and while he's looking after the wound, she asks him about Senga once again. The doctor says that he wants to resign because of his sick father. He has never been recognized as a good doctor by his father. Even when he got sick, Terry was unable to prove to him otherwise. Bo has special abilities. When she holds his father's hand, she communicates with him, and then tells Terry that his father is remorseful and apologizes to him from the bottom of his heart. Adam gets a call from the hospital. He decides that he won't resign and goes to check on the patient. Dr. Terry succeeds in the operation. The patient's name is Agnes. When he sees her name reflected in the mirror, he sees that it is Senga. In a diner, Janice asks Winter why he chose a prisoner sentenced to death to protect Bo. He says that he chose him because he's the father of Bo. On their way to Philadelphia, Bo and Tate are on the bus, and once it stops at a station, they'd find the cops everywhere. They hide in the restroom until Winter calls and tells them their next move. And in the intelligence center, their main concern is to catch Tate, because for the first time, a prisoner sentenced to death can escape, and the one holding his case is the investigator, Agent Elizabeth Farrell. Agent Farrell goes to meet the director, Lofton, who shows her a picture of Bo. He says that Tate probably kidnapped this child. He tells her that she must get this child back, even if it leads to Tate's killing. He also tells her that she can seek help from the organization that's under Roman. Inside the company, where a meeting is being held, Zoe, Roman's assistant, tells her that it's Winter who kidnapped Bo. He was one of the employees of the company, but when he saw that the experiments on Bo were harmful and not beneficial to her, he took her and left the company. And all those working with him were also employees of the company. Agent Farrell feels something is wrong with the company, but Roman emphasizes that she has to stick to her duty and bring Bo back to them, even if she is forced to kill Winter's entire team. To show her how important Bo is to them, they show her another product scene. A boy who's not as strong as Bo. Zoe asks Scene to show her his abilities. He builds a building that appears outside the window, similar to the miniature model he has in his hands. The next day, Tate cuts his long hair short and changes his looks. When he finds that the police have gone, he leaves with Bo. They enter a betting place and ask Bo to watch the game from afar and help him earn some money. While she's sitting, a woman asks her about who she is with. She replies that she is alone. The woman offers her something to drink. Tate wins in every game. But once he sees their photos on the TV screens, he collects all the money and escapes. By chance, Bonnie, the woman who offered Bo the drink, stops and offers them a ride. Because of her powers, Bo learns that she has a sick son, Jess. Bo wants to go with her. And because Tate wants to keep low-key, he agrees to that. After spending some time with Jesse, Bonnie drops them off at the station. Since Moore failed in finding Bo, Roman replaced her with Marcus, a fierce force. He searches for Bo and Tate relentlessly. He asks a man in the betting hall, who says that he heard them saying something about Philadelphia. On the bus, Tate asks Bo to give him the bag containing the money. She responds that she has given it as a donation to Jess, so that his mother can help him with his medication. But the bus passengers recognize Tate and Bo from the news. He is forced to escape, and because he doesn't have money, he steals a car. At a gas station, Marcus catches them and beats Tate a lot, then pours gasoline on him and takes Bo to the back seat of his car. He switches the lighter to burn Tate, who startles him and kicks him out of the car. But the explosion at the station grabs attention to their whereabouts. However, Marcus survives. Roman calls him and gives him the new coordinates where he can find Tate and Bo. Tate tries to get away from the explosion area as quickly as possible, but the police besiege him. To preserve Bo's life, he surrenders himself. Marcus sees them and confirms to Roman that he has surrendered himself to the police. But the surprise is that the police are Winter and his team. Winter meets Roman in a cafe to reach a compromise or a temporary truce. But Roman insists on continuing the experiments on Bo. On the other hand, Winter insists on protecting her as he promised her mother. 10 years ago, Roman met Nina, Bo's mother. She had the same power as her daughter, but she used it as a source of income. Knowing the background of whom she was talking to, and using this information to predict their future. By using her powers, She learns that Roman would like her to join them to conduct experiments on her so that he knows the secret of her power. And because she wanted to know that too, she agreed to that. When Roman returned to the company, he met Winter for the first time. Winter had studied and researched the subconscious and the conscious mind and worked in several companies that have the same agenda as Roman's company. But he found Nina's case unprecedented. Roman asked him to take Nina's case. He said that their goal is to spread peace, and Winter agreed and met with Nina. She told him that she had inherited this power from her mother and that she had agreed to join this program because she was pregnant and she feared for her child. Winter reassured her that he would help her. After a while of training, Nina's powers were demonstrated for the first time when she reached the last trimester of her pregnancy. The show was attended by Army officers, generals, and officials from arms manufacturing companies. Roman explained to them that the show would be a defense demonstration. A plane directed a missile at the room in which they were. Nina's mission was the defense and missiles elimination. The show began and the plane launched the missile in their direction. Nina exploded it in the air and then contained it completely. Unfortunately, because of the effort that was required of her, she was transferred to the hospital. She was giving birth now. Winter reassured her that he'd take good care of her child, and Nina died during childbirth. At present, Tate and Bo are walking down the street to the area where Winter asked them to go to. But the surveillance cameras capture their location. Agent Farrell locates them and goes with the forces to their location. She devises a plan to besiege them in the area so that they cannot escape. Winter and his team try to help Tate and Bo. The official in Winter's team who is responsible for disabling the police alarms is Luke Hayden. But it seems that Hayden is a little nervous about this process. He says that when they started protecting Bo, their number was 10, and now the number has dropped down to 6. Therefore, he says that he doesn't want to continue working with them. Winter calls Tate and tells him that he has encountered some problems in the team. He asks him to escape for an hour, after which he will be with him. He gives him the address to meet in an hour. At the headquarters of the company, where Norman watches the police news and the latest updates, he tells Zoe that they won't be able to find Bo. But instead, he wants to use another person they have named Joshua. He has been in the company for 3 years and has supernatural powers, but not at the level of Bo's powers. The police arrest Tate and Bo. Here, Bo gets angry. She undoes Tate's handcuffs, and when the policeman points the gun at him, she also pulls his pistol to bits. Tate takes advantage of the opportunity and runs away with Bo until they find Winter, who takes them to the subway station, and from there they escape. Winter calls Tate and tells him about the place where they will meet, and that he has 15 minutes before the boat moves. They speed up to reach there. They arrive at the specified place at the right time. He tells Winter everything that happened and how Bo helped the critical situation. Winter is pleased with this because her powers have begun to increase gradually without conducting experiments. He believes that this happens because her father is with her. Neither Tate nor Bo had a clue. At night, a journalist named Ben receives a call in which he's told about Bo. She is a part of a project called the Orchestra, in which super strong people are recruited as cyborgs. He's told that the people behind these experiments should be exposed to the public, as they're conducting illegal experiments, and they'll be in touch. The new hiding place for Tate and Bo is in the neighborhood of Ben. When they cross the street, Ben notices them and Bo looks at him as well. This means that she has brought them to this place, and Ben will need their help soon. The next morning, Tate intends to go out to get food. Ben tells his wife, Taryn, that if he succeeds in publishing the story about Bo, their life will change completely. At one of the parties, Roman meets Lofton. The latter tells him that they have a problem. He says that their devices were able to identify a leak of the orchestra program and that he suspects it's most likely from Roman's side. He says it's Ben. On his blog, he has published about the orchestra program, and Roman assigns a man named Neko Zepeda to kill him. Tate meets Winter, and when he learns that he left Bo alone, He becomes furious. Bo goes out to buy something to drink. She finds Taryn, who seems worried. She talks to her and congratulates her on the pregnancy. Taryn is surprised because she just learned that she is pregnant. They talk a little, and she takes her to her apartment. She shows her some of her drawings. After she leaves, Janice comes in saying that Roman has learned of their whereabouts and that they should leave immediately. While they're leaving, Bo looks at some of her drawings and says that they must save her. When Ben and Taryn enter their apartment, they find Zepeda. They want to escape, but another man comes from behind to block their way. Zepeda asks about the source of his information. Fortunately, Janice storms in, and Tate backs her up. They take Ben and Taryn and run away. Janice takes them to a church where they meet Winter, who too asks him where he got this information. He replies that he didn't meet his source. At the church, Taryn tells them that Ben has gone out, probably to meet the source. They all come to catch him before Roman and his men. It's getting worse when Zepeda tells Roman about their place, and Joshua is released. The team follows Ben to the station. He stubbornly wants to carry out what he has started and wants to meet with his source. Suddenly, Ben goes into fits as if someone is overtaking his consciousness. Winter understands that Roman is deploying one of his products, the human weapons. Bo decides to help him, and she spots Joshua. This time her powers become greater, and she kills Joshua in seconds. And Zoe is in the station too, which means that she's Ben's source. Before the police arrive, Winter heads to the church with the team. Winter asks Ben to postpone publishing his story, and that he will deal with Roman. At night, Tate talks to Bo and tells her that he wants to leave for his city. She helps him untie the shackle on his leg and says that he can go. He gets in the car and drives to his town. Janice sees that he has escaped, so she tells Winter about that. He knows that Bo helped him. He asks her about that, and she says that Tate needs to take care of some problems. And knowing that he's her father, Winter decides to help Tate. He's looking for Pat, who denounced him and bore false witness against him that he killed 2 men. This is what led to his imprisonment and death sentence. On the other side, Scene is left to Roman. But he is at the beginning of his training and is not as strong as Joshua. So Roman decides to put pressure on him until Bo returns to him. His first test takes him to Joshua, who is between life and death. Roman asks him to kill him once and for all. And because he has no other solution, he is forced to obey his command and kills Joshua in no time. Bo tells Janice that Tate isn't here. He is at Pat's house. Tate threatens him with gunpoint. He says that Jack is the one who reported him, and he knows the whole truth. Bo shows the team where Tate is right now, and they reach the perfect time. They stop Tate from committing a murder. Because he wants to know the truth, he asks Bo to use her powers to find out which of his friends is lying and who is telling the truth. She agrees, however, he must not harm anyone. He agrees, and then they head out to the bar. He talks with Jack, his friend. He tells him what Pat said. He replies that Pat is lying to him, and that he considers him a brother and will help him start his life again. He hands him $50,000 to start his life. Tate takes the money and leaves with Bo. She tells him that Jack did not give him the money to help him, but rather gave it to him to stay away from him and not cause him problems. Indeed, Jack is the one who reported him. Jack is expecting Tate to come for his revenge. Men from both sides surround him and take him to a boat. There, Jack confesses to him what happened. He tells him that he was the one who killed the 2 men and that he was the one who reported him and testified against him in court. Bo and the team arrive at the port to find the boat destroyed. As police sirens approach, they quickly depart. In a fortunate turn, Tate catches up with them and reveals that he and Pat managed to escape the explosion by jumping off the boat in time. Winter, concerned for Tate's safety, decides it's time to disclose the truth. The girl Tate has been protecting is his daughter. Janice warns the team that Roman's men have caught up to them. Hurriedly, they all get into the car, But Zepeda manages to inject Bo with an anesthetic before they can escape. Tate swiftly helps Bo into the vehicle, but she loses consciousness. As they attempt to flee, Zepeda fires at them. Winter maneuvers the car, causing Zepeda to collide and fall to the ground. The team decides to bring Zepeda along in the car. Winter tells them that they will go to a farm nearby which belongs to one of his friends. When they get there, Bo recognizes them. They're Carl and Sarah, the owners of the farmhouse. They're among the families that adopted Bo some time ago. But Bo's condition deteriorates. Her temperature rises and then falls into unconsciousness. Inside her mind, she relived her memories of those days when she was with Carl and Sarah. Tate expresses concern for his daughter and proposes taking her to the hospital, fearing for her well-being. However, Winter rejects the idea, explaining that the illness is incurable. When Tate seeks clarification, Winter discloses that the condition is known as deterioration, a disease that exhausts one's abilities due to excessive power consumption. It comes to all people of her type. Janice intervenes and tells them that the only solution is to ask for help from Zoe, and since this is their last resort, Winter agrees. But first, he takes Tate away from the farmhouse so they won't be able to trace his call to where Bo is. When they reach a suitable place, Winter calls Zoe and asks her for help. She agrees to help them because she sympathizes with Bo. She reaches them at night. The three discuss Bo's illness. Zoe is convinced that her diagnosis isn't the deteriorating disease, but it seems that she has entered into a shock that made her create an imaginary world to live in and escape to. Zoe hands them an injection of a substance they use to run tests on. She says this substance will wake her up if she is actually in a world of her imagination. But if it's a deteriorating disease, she's the only one who can heal herself. Winter injects her as Zoe instructed, but nothing happens. Tate feels guilty. He asks Bo for her forgiveness because he is unable to save her. In the world of her imagination, Bo feels as if Tate were with her. He tells her that she's his daughter. His last words were the right amount of her dosage of healing. She opened up her eyes. The next day, when Bo gets better, they'd bid farewell to Carl and Sarah and leave the farmhouse. They go to one of their hiding places until they decide their next move. Winter calls Zoe to confirm if Roman has activated his company's tracking system. After he is sure, he informs the team about this matter and stresses to Bo that she should not use her powers during this period at all. To find a solution to the issue, Winter and Janice meet with Layla Leeds and tell her everything is happening lately. Before leaving Roman's company, Leeds had access to the company's tracking system. She gives them a chip to hide Bo's powers from the company's system. In this way, the company will pick up any other frequency, but Bo will remain invisible. But the chip must be implanted within the system. They build a plan that will enable them to bypass the company's security system. Janice decides to carry out this suicidal operation, knowing that there is a high probability that she will be arrested or even killed. They commence executing the plan and reach multiple tunnels underneath the company. From there, Janice climbs up to the company, while Leeds disables the monitoring cameras. She guides her to reach the room in which the system is located and how to plant the chip. Janice succeeds in implanting the chip. She hurriedly hides herself from the sights when Roman approaches the room. Now she just has to escape from there, but when she reaches where she came in, she finds it blocked and finds Roman and his men. After that, Leeds brings Tate and Bo to their current hideout, where they meet Winter, who tells them they have succeeded in the plan. However, Janice has been captured by Roman. Tate decides to train his daughter himself because he wants to save Janice before Roman and his men do bad things to her. The company picks up other strong frequencies from a certain area, and when they check the place, they find a girl named Dani. At the site, Zoe warns Roman that this girl's powers are close to Bo's, but Roman doesn't care. He tells the girl that he's here to help her. As he trains his daughter, Tate gets Winter's call to evacuate their places because Roman and his men must soon be able to read Janice's mind, and in this case, all their plans and hideouts will be in vain. Zoe takes Danny to a hotel where all its residents have supernatural powers. After a while, they walk and talk. Zoe discovers that the girl suffers from personal struggles. Danny opens up about what she has been suppressing in her heart all her life. In the past, once she fought with her brother, she became angry with him and, unintentionally, killed him down a bookcase. She couldn't tell anyone that she had these powers. Once she told her family, they avoided her and treated her like some sort of freak, especially when they learned that she was the one who killed her brother. After learning her story, Zoe takes her to undergo some tests to find out the extent of her powers. And Roman becomes interested because she's second to Bo in her abilities. Zoe brings him what she learned from her story. Despite that, Roman seems to have a particular target. No matter what it takes, he wants to reach Bo ASAP. He takes Donnie to test her power over Janice. As Winter predicted, he asks Donnie to extract all the information that Janice has in her brain. Danny can access Janice's mind at an incredible speed, and despite Janice's training, she cannot resist her. Danny reports to Roman all the information that she has elicited from her. Roman hands over the coordinates of the bunkers, where Winter and his team have been staying, to Agent Farrell. The police units are distributed in the secret hideouts that she has obtained. She finds Winter and his team in one of these places and is stationed around it. But Winter has envisioned all that was coming his way. An explosion occurs in the house as a form of distraction. During this chaos, Winter and his team kidnap Roman. Then they flee to a faraway place from the police. Winter talks to him, face to face. He says that he must listen to what he's saying. 1 is to free Janice, and 2 is to stop chasing Bo. But Roman refuses, saying that Bo is the orchestra. Winter responds by saying that he must stop lying because he has learned the truth about what he is doing. There are powerful organizations that offer him huge sums of money to buy these human recruits as weapons. The goal of the orchestra project is to find the gene that generates the mutation, to implant it in any person of his choice, and create his army. He threatens him that he will expose him if he doesn't destroy the program. And that night, Roman fulfills part of his requirements, which is to free Janice. Agent Farrell hands over Janice in exchange for Roman's, who takes the pistol from the guard and shoots a bullet at Winter. But Janice takes the bullet instead. Winter takes Janice back to the team. Meanwhile, Zoe calls him, but because he is occupied with Janice's treatment, he doesn't answer. She leaves him a message that Roman has found a girl named Danny who's close to Bo and her powers. But she finds that Danny knows everything she's doing. Danny knew that Zoe was helping Winter by reading Janice's mind. She threatens her that she'll tell Roman about everything. Winter saves no effort in extracting the bullet from Janice before it erodes the wound, and her condition worsens. After her condition stabilizes a little, he calls Tate and informs him about the recent events, and informs him about their place to meet with him. At the company, Danny meets with Roman. Is she jealous of Bo? Yes, it seems that's true because she is trying to prove to Roman that she's stronger than her and that she can be the orchestra. Then, she tells Roman about Zoe and how she helped Winter. Roman takes Zoe in for the interrogation. He asks her what exactly she told Winter. But Zoe doesn't want to reveal any of what he's asking her. She says that he has changed drastically since they started the program, and his goals have changed. She reminds him how they started their project to spread peace. But after that, he communicated with companies and governments to deliver people who are merely weapons. And because Roman is disturbed by her words, he decides to punish her. He asks Donnie to access her mind and erase her memory, so she doesn't remember anything about the orchestra project or even about her life. Tate and Bo arrive at Winter's current stay. Winter decides to take a break from all the events and chaos that have happened recently. Also, Janice has improved a lot after Winter extracted the bullet from her. But during the night, Bo feels something bizarre is going on. She finds Janice in pain and asks her for help. Bo runs to Winter and Tate. Upon checking her wound, they found out that it has become infected again. Winter hits the road to his friend, Dr. Brad, who avoids helping him because of his many problems. But Winter doesn't ask him. He's kidnapping him. At the company, Danny checks the internet about Bo. She hates her even more once she finds the attention she is taking from everyone, especially Roman. Suddenly, she finds a strange redness on her arm. She goes to the clinic for a checkup. Once she asks the doctor about her diagnosis, the doctor doesn't tell her. But Danny gets to read her thoughts and knows that she has the deteriorating disease that Winter and Zoe were talking about. After that, the doctor meets Roman and tells him that Danny is in stage 4 of the disease, which is considered a late incurable stage. She says it's the first time she sees the disease spreading so quickly. Bo tells her father, Tate, that she is tired of this chase. She says that she doesn't want to run any longer and she wants to live a normal life. And the only solution they have is to confront Roman. Tate contemplates her words and corroborates her decision with Dr. Brad, who examines Janice and says that because Winter wasn't able to completely remove the bullet from her abdomen, that's why it has become infected and her condition has exacerbated. As they treat Janice, Tate, and Bo further implement their plan. They go to one of Roman's parties, and there Bo disables the earphones of one of the guards, disrupts the surveillance screens, and creates chaos in the place. That makes the security concerned about Roman's safety. The plan succeeds as one of the guards takes Roman away from the party. Once the elevator door opens, Tate beats the guard and takes Roman away. When Bo sees him, she says that he must stop chasing them, that he must shut down the project and end these experiments that he is conducting on humans. But it seems that Roman isn't listening to her. He responds that the entire program was invented for her sake. Tate says that he was the one who killed Nina, and now he won't allow him to kill his daughter. But Roman says that's not true. It's Winter, the one who killed Nina, not him. Because he was the one responsible for her, and he willingly agreed to supervise her training. His talk has affected Bo greatly because before meeting Tate, she considered Winter like her father. Tate attacks Roman and says that he is a liar. Winter would never do such a thing. Roman's guards approach, so Tate quickly escapes with Bo. And when the guards search for them, they don't find anyone. They get into a car when Winter calls. He tells them where they should meet him, at the airstrip. He says that Janice's condition isn't improving. That's why they need to take her to the hospital. As for Danny and the company, she is worried about the disease that is spreading rapidly in their body. Suddenly, she hears someone screaming from outside, and when she investigates, she sees that a girl like her is infected with the same disease, and she is fighting the nurses. Danny is curious about what's happening to her and where they intend to take her. She follows them to what seems like a quarantine, and there she finds many patients lying on the beds. Danny feels extremely terrified. From behind, one of the nurses tries to calm her down, but because she is now out of sorts, she loses control and threatens him, asking what will happen to the patients. He says that their fate is death. Here, Danny kills him. When Roman returns to his company, Danny appears standing in the cover of darkness. Between her sobs, she says that he knew about her illness, yet he continued his experiments on her. She knocks the security guard down, and when she reads Roman's mind, she knows that all his concern is the project and Bo. She says that she'll destroy this project. And Bo too. She leaves the company, and her mission now is to kill Bo. Tate and Bo arrive at the agreed-upon place, where they find Winter waiting for them. They tell him what Roman said. Here, Bo holds his hand to go through his memory. She sees glimpses of what happened with her mother. She, shockingly, discovers that Roman is right. It is Winter who killed Nina. He defends himself, saying that he didn't know about Nina's illness, and because he felt guilty, he decided to protect Bo his whole life. She forgives him but decides that she will not continue with him and his team. Bo decides that from now on, she and her father will defend themselves. Meanwhile, Roman calls Winter to tell them that the whole matter is blown up. It has gotten out of his hands and that he would like to meet him. Roman tells him about Danny and that she is much stronger than Bo because when she was little, incidents happened to her. That's why she has intense anger inside her. This anger breathed resentment into her powers, and it has grown abnormally in a short time. She blames them and the whole world, and she wants to take revenge on everybody in Bo's circle. Bo is in danger because Danny wants to kill her. Winter replies saying that because of him, Bo has moved away from him. He doesn't know anything about her. Bo with her father at a gas station where she buys some stuff. She is taken aback when she finds her mother in front of her. Nina tells her that she must check the bracelet in the cashier's hand. Bo expresses to the cashier how much she likes her bracelet. The cashier says it's a gift from one of her friends. Bo asks her to let her check it closely. When she holds the bracelet in her hand, she discerns the memories attached to the bracelet. They all rush into her mind. Danny throws the bookcase toward her brother and leaves him dead. Now, Bo knows that they have come to this station for a reason. After leaving the station, Bo decides not to mention anything to her father because she wants to live a normal life and doesn't want to be drawn into any trouble. Tate also receives a call from Winter, but after what has happened, he ignores the call. As for Danny, she follows every place where Bo has been. One of these places where she finds her drawings hanging on the wall. She tears them up and burns them down. She explodes the entire place and continues on her search for Bo. In the hotel room, Bo watches the news on the TV about the explosion. She becomes anxious and tells her father what happened to her at the station. Tate, learning that she has seen Nana, decides that they should return to the city. They take the car, and Bo guides him to where Danny lived all her life, a home for children who do not have parents to care for them, kind of orphanage. When inspecting her room, they notice something strange. These are writings on the wall. When examining them closely, they're repetitive sentences. She asks for forgiveness from her brother. They understand the story behind her anger and the guilt she's carrying with her. Bo says that they should help her, but Tate says that she doesn't deserve a second chance and must die. At his last words, Danny has arrived. She says that she doesn't need a second chance because she'll kill them. She throws Tate away against the wall where he falls unconscious. And because she's more powerful than Bo, she forcefully takes her. Tate comes back to his senses, but he is late. He's panicked and doesn't know what he's supposed to do. He calls Winter for help. Upon arriving, Winter reassures Tate saying that he knows where Danny has taken Bo. In his company, Roman cancels the orchestra program and erases all the data related to it because he is afraid of what Danny might do. From behind, he hears her voice. When he turns his face to them, he finds Bo with her. Danny is in a miserable state and her eyes are lifeless. Tate and Winter reach the company and find Roman and Bo tied up. Then Danny comes in. She says that finally, the whole squad has gathered in one place. She heads out with a sinister thought of destroying them all at once and locks them down. Bo is trying to use her powers but is unable. Her father holds her, and her mother comes again. She tells her that she can save everyone, including Danny. Nana says that all Danny needs is to know that her brother has forgiven her, and that what happened was just an unintentional accident. Here, Bo holds her parents' hands and releases them with ease. Nina disappears, and Bo grows stronger. And Tate says that he believes her now that Danny deserves a second chance. Bo heads out looking for Danny. She finds her in the middle of a fire tornado wanting to destroy the world. Here, Bo holds her hand to deliver her brother's message to her, and Danny stops everything. She falls to the ground. Bo heals her wounds and aching soul. She's completely cured now, because love heals and hatred destroys. Winter tells them that they must disappear before the police arrive. And the only person who stays is Roman, who sheds tears over the orchestra of his life. But Bo lives a normal, simple life with her dad, Tate, as they wanted. Dear viewer, don't forget to share your thoughts with us in the comments below with #CinemaRecap. Stay tuned.